guys, it's Cece, and today I'm here to talk about all of my favorite things from December. This is a very movie-heavy list. As a warning, it's half movies, if not more than half movies, so you should know that going in. But I do have some other stuff to talk about. I'm going to start by talking about other favorite things in the month of December, Funko Pops, music, activities that I did, and then we will end the video on movies, so yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my whole intro. Let's talk about my favorite things from the last month of 2017. First of all, I have to talk about Brooklyn Nine-Nine again. Now, I'm not just talking about the whole show, so I am. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine with my whole heart, but this isn't just in reference to the fact that I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. My favorite thing that happened in December is that one of the main characters of the series, Rosa, came out as bisexual. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is already an incredibly diverse show. One of the main characters is a black, openly gay man with a husband. There's another main black character, multiple Latina main characters. It's just a show that I love. Rosa Diaz has been kind of an enigma, and then she recently came out as bisexual. This came from some of a push from the fans, but also from the actress who plays Rosa herself, who is also openly bi. The episodes that we got dealing with Rosa's sexuality were so refreshing, especially from the standpoint of seeing bisexuality on television. Rosa didn't say that she didn't like labels. It was none of that. It was, I'm Rosa, I'm bi, I'm bisexual. She said it constantly. She was surrounded by a loving group of friends and had the most beautiful conversation with Holt, the openly gay character, which was like, I cried through that scene. Rosa has always been a character who we knew almost nothing about, so to have so many episodes dedicated to her personal journey and being loved by her friends, being openly bisexual, it was an incredible, incredible experience, and yet another reason for me to love this show with every bit of my heart. I want to talk about one song that I was listening to a bunch in December. I've been listening to it for months, but, you know, I didn't talk about it, so we're going to talk about it now. And that is the song Young by the Chainsmokers. The reason I've been listening to this song a ton lately is because it is a song for Ronan Lynch from the Raven Cycle. I've been listening to a ton of Raven Cycle playlists. I have a couple of my own that I've been making on Spotify because that's what I do when I get obsessed with something. I make playlists. But Young is one of the most perfect songs I've ever found to represent a character in this series. The chorus especially, like, broke me the first time I listened to it. Seriously, I will leave the song link down in the description below if you want to go listen to it, but if you like the song in general and you don't know the Raven Cycle, that's fine, it's a good song, but if you like the Raven Cycle, go listen to the song and think about Ronan Lynch and cry. Seriously, that's what's gonna happen. Also, if you are interested in some of the other music I've been listening to or that I did listen to in 2017, I have a 2017 Spotify playlist, which is now finished, locked down, no other changes are going to be made to it, so check that out, link in the description below, and listen to all of the songs I was listening to last year. I also have a work-in-progress Raven Cycle playlist that might be public or might be not, I don't remember, but if you go to my profile, it'll probably be there if you want to know what songs I associate with that series. You know what else happened in December is that year 3 of Check Please, my favorite webcomic, wrapped up. Check Please is going to have 4 years total, so this wasn't the end of the entire webcomic, but it was the conclusion of what has been a huge year, and it was so much. This is a webcomic about a southern gay baker boy named Eric Biddle, and he moves to an East Coast college to play hockey, despite the fact that he's been a figure skater for most of his life, and it's just about, like, really wholesome friendship and hockey, and also love. I talk about it all the time because it's cute but also really well written and the art is gorgeous. It's going to be published as its own graphic novel series. But the conclusion of year 3 had me screaming. We got like 4 updates in the space of a week, and every time I got an update, I was on Twitter screaming and freaking out. I have barely calmed down from the final comic update. I can't wait to see what year 4 has in store for us. Year 4 doesn't start until March, which is gonna kill me. But I can't wait to see where more of Biddy's story goes, along with all of the other side characters who I love very, very much. It's such a good webcomic, and I think you should read it, although, as a warning, I've had multiple people tell me they go to read it after I recommend it, and then they stay up all night reading the whole thing, so fair warning, it could happen to you. I also got a new Funko Pop in December. It was for Christmas, and it is Leslie Knope. Look at this doll. She's just so sweet. I've been rewatching Parks and Recreation because it's a show that I have a lot of love for, and it's a show that makes me really happy, and I wanted Leslie. I didn't necessarily want all of the other Funko Pops from the show, but Leslie in particular just stands out as this character that I love and admire so very much. Her pop looks so much like her, plus she's got the book she wrote about Pawnee, she's holding it in her hand, and that makes everything really special. If you want to see more of the stuff that I got for Christmas, I have a Christmas haul uploaded on my channel. I'll put that linked up on the screen, but I love Leslie, and she now has a place up on my shelves. You usually can't see her because she goes like right there, but she is displayed and very well loved. And the final thing before we get into the movies is I want to talk about a favorite thing I did in December, and that is I went and I spent a few days with Janelle. I visited my girlfriend Janelle where she lives in Pennsylvania for her birthday. In the past, I have never been able to spend her birthday with her because it falls a week after when we would leave college to go home for winter break. So this year, since we hadn't seen each other in a bit, I decided I would fly out and see her for her birthday. We had a ton of fun. It was amazing to see her and to spend some time back on the East Coast again because I hadn't been there in since June. I hadn't been there since June. And that was in New York. That wasn't even in Pennsylvania where I've spent a lot of my time. So it was wonderful to go there again. If you want to see some of the stuff that Janelle and I did over the 5 days that I was visiting, I have a vlog for it, which I will leave linked up on the screen, and you can just kind of follow Janelle and I along. And good news, Janelle and I will be seeing each other again very soon, in February. So okay, let's talk about some movies. I have a bunch to cover. First of all, I have a TV movie, and that is Psych, the movie. I probably haven't really talked about the TV show Psych, but I love it. It was one of the only shows in my entire history of television watching that I started at the very beginning live and watched it through to its conclusion. So I have a love and a connection to the show. And they just did a Christmas special movie where they brought back all of the main cast, and it was a lot of fun. I think it lacked a little bit of the pizzazz and the silliness of the original series, but that could have been because they were missing a main cast member who suffered, I believe, a stroke really soon before they started filming, and I feel like I felt his absence. He's totally fine, he just couldn't film the movie, and that was really sad, but overall, I did love the movie. I thought they did a great job, and it was fun, and it made me want to rewatch the entirety of Psych, which is really sad because they took it off Netflix. But that show makes me really happy. If I'm talking about shows that make me happy, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Recreation, Psych, all easy answers for things that put a smile on my face. I also want to talk about Coco, which is the new Pixar movie. Oh, Coco was so good. I have loved Pixar since I was a child. I just think that they make the most beautiful movies, and this movie impressed me so much. It was one of the most gorgeous movies I've ever looked at. Just the animation in general, the scope of it, the design of everything. I couldn't get over, but also the music was just wonderful. Its focus on tradition and family. I sobbed through the last 15 minutes of this movie, which I know Pixar makes me cry every movie without fail, but I sobbed through the end of this movie. I just thought it was brilliant in every way. If you have not seen Coco yet, please do. If that means waiting until it comes out on DVD and getting it, please go see it. It is just emotional and wonderful and captivating, and probably my favorite Pixar movie for a couple of years. I have 2 more movies I want to talk about still. So first, I want to talk about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. When I went and saw Janelle, it was on December 15th. I flew in, got off the plane, and we drove to see it that night. And I personally loved this movie. Obviously, it has created a huge divided opinion on the internet. Some people loathe it, some people love it. I loved it. I did think that there were a couple of things that weren't really great and kind of interrupted the flow of the movie, but overall, I thought the development of all of the characters was done incredibly well. I was stressed going into this movie because after The Force Awakens, Rey had become a new favorite female character for me. She just means more to me than I can ever explain, and I am so happy to say that the second movie didn't let me down. I get to keep Rey as a favorite character. I think that they're doing a brilliant job with her. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it was fantastic to see Luke in a movie again. I thought that Mark Hamill did an incredible job. Laura Dern was a wonderful addition to this movie, and obviously I cried through like any given scene with Carrie Fisher. She did a wonderful job, and it was really meaningful, a couple of the scenes that got to happen with her in this movie. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I am still super psyched to see episode 9 and everything that that is going to have in store for us. I loved so much about this movie. I'm really glad it didn't disappoint me because I was terrified and stressed for months about it. And the final movie I want to talk about is not going to be a surprise to you if you follow me on Twitter. Did you guess it yet? Yes, you probably did. Okay, it's The Greatest Showman. So I don't know what fully happened with this movie, but I saw it 3 times in the space of a week. So The Greatest Showman is by no means an accurate historical representation of P.T. Barnum and how he created the circus. If you're going in expecting a biography or any kind of fact about P.T. Barnum's life, it's not what you're going to find. It squeegees clean his reputation. He was not really a good guy. It's been highly Disney-fied, but I needed something in December to make me feel really good. And that's what this movie did. I left it the first time and I was like, wow, I feel so great. I want to see this again. And so I did. And then I saw it a 3rd time. I think it has a lot of spectacle. I just think it's gorgeous to look at on a screen. And I think if this is a movie that you're interested in even remotely, it's something that you should try to see on a big screen at least one time. It's that kind of movie that's just so cinematic that the effect of the big screen and the huge speakers in a dark theater, it makes the experience really cool. I don't know what we as a society did to deserve Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron singing a duet, but I'm glad for whatever it was that made us deserve that because it is so good. Maybe some of my love for this movie stems from the fact that 11-year-old Cece was like awakening and going, Zac Efron's in another musical? He did a great job, by the way. Zac Efron, I think that he stood up to Hugh Jackman singing next to him and acting next to him, and I was really worried he wouldn't, but as an ensemble cast, they all did a great job. And more importantly, the music. I'll stop talking about the movie now so I could talk about the music, the soundtrack, which I had memorized almost in full 24 hours after I saw the movie. I went to work the next day, downloaded the album on Spotify, and listened to it on repeat for 8 full hours. So I have a hard time figuring out how to recommend this movie because it's not like I'm saying it's a perfect movie, but it's a musical, and it was everything I wanted a spectacular, fantastical musical to be. It was dynamic and funny, and it made me smile, it warmed my heart, and I know that that is not the authentic story of P.T. Barnum, but at the emotional state I was at the end of December, that's not what I needed. I needed The Greatest Showman, and it was so great. Okay guys, there you go. Those were my December favorites, or should I say, that was me gushing about The Greatest Showman featuring a couple of other things I loved. What were some of your favorite things in the month of December, especially movies, since apparently that's where my mind is at right now? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!